What's up, y'all? I am back. Listen. First of all, let me tell y'all this. I was at Revival this week, so that's why y'all ain't getting no videos. Wednesday, Thursday, and yesterday. I don't think I had anything pressing yesterday, but that's why y'all haven't heard from me. But what they say being being early is being on time. Being on time is being late. And I guess I'm late. But I'm like, it's like Jesus. He may not come when you want him, but he definitely shows up on time, okay? Anyway, um, we are here for Tyler Perry's Zatima, season 3, episode 17, Forgiveness. Listen, remember, we're still in love and like. So, since I love that y'all love me, and I love y'all and everything, and y'all like me, and I also like y'all, you know, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. All right. Listen, and make sure y'all hit the notification bell button to be updated on whatever I post. All right. So listen, this was pretty. It was good. All right, it was good. Anyway, so y'all, the episode picks up at the dinner scene. Y'all know those dinner scenes be a mess. Y'all remember how Diana was acting on Power at the dinner scene? That's your mother. I'm sorry, y'all. Oh my God, shout out to Diana. Y'all forgot her real name, but I follow her on Instagram, okay? So, Leslie tell Fatima that she could never live up to Fatima. And I'm like, why would you do that? Listen, Leslie, ma'am, why are you with him? If you know clearly that he still loves this other woman, you have done yourself a disservice by staying with him. And I'm pretty sure while you were staying with him, you decided that, you know what, maybe if I do what he says and look, act, think like Fatima, maybe he'll want me. No. All right. Anyway, so y'all, we see Zach sipping his wine, and he asked Leslie, hey, continue on talking. So Leslie tells them that her and Malachi went to therapy, and all he could talk about is her, which was Fatima. And I was like, I know you lying. And he's still standing there to tell about it? No. The way I would have popped Malachi, the way after that therapy session, we would have stopped right over at the county, at the, what they call it, the county office to get a damn divorce. Because, no ma'am, I would have went to any attorney, a probate attorney. I'm sorry, y'all. I would have went to an accident attorney. Give me this divorce and get me out of this divorce today. All right? Because none of this makes sense to me. Like, I guess. So then Malachi apologizes to Fatima and tell her that they're going to leave. And Leslie tells Fatima, are you going to explain this picture? First of all, girl, if you in that picture, don't get up out of my face. So Leslie then says, tell him the only reason they were doing it is because he wanted to see what it would be like to be with her. Wait. To be with her? Oh, yeah. So anyway, I'm sorry, my notes weren't noting like I thought they would note. All right, my bad. So then she says, when they got in the house, he was going all through her house, going through their pictures, staring at, just looking and staring at stuff. And she tells Zach, he was looking at you too. Meanwhile, Zach still like, trifling. She trifling. Somebody said she trifling. All I know is he kept saying it's trifling. So Malachi says every time they get hit, when he says every time they get in a good place, she said how. She stopped him and said how we gonna get to a good place when she is always present. And he has never let go of Fatima. Of course, I figured that when he was talking to Zach when we first met them. Like, it was like really obvious, you know. So Zach asked Malachi, so do you still love her like that? And Malachi says yes. And I was like, I know the entire hell, you lying to me, because you gonna tell me this. And he asked, so you know, hey, you gotta keep it a book. But you gonna say this in front of your wife, but your wife already knows. So I guess it's not even a surprise. So Leslie said, tell him you was at the hotel with her. And so Malachi said, I wasn't at the hotel with her. I had somebody to doctor that picture up and send it to Leslie. And I was like, wait a minute. Somebody lying. Somebody lying. So Leslie tell Malachi, you lying. You know, you lying. And she tells Zach, look at the picture. And Zach looking at the picture. And so Fatima gets mad, bangs on the table, and says enough. Like, that voice went from, oh no. It was it was high, all right? So Fatima tell him to leave. You ain't got to go home, but you got to get up out of here. All right? I was like, okay. So Leslie still think they playing on her top. And I'm like, they really not playing on your top. Your husband don't want you. Listen, Judge Maybelline said, don't never let a man tell you he don't want you more than once. So, Fatima tells her, you don't know nothing about that. And she tells Leslie then tells Zach, they think we stupid. They want each other. They, you know, and Fatima tells Leslie, you are stupid. All right, you stupid. You stupid and you dumb. And so I realized after, you know, Malachi got up, you know, Leslie left. She was like, go to hell. And they got up, went to the car. Ain't nobody eat the food. And I was just, that's the first thing I noticed. As soon as they left, I was like, that food must have been nasty. Anyway, so Malachi tells Fatima he's sorry. And Fatima says, so is she. And Zach was like, what you saying you sorry for? Right. But we find out that was an old photo. Again, Zach, first of all, this is why I say that they was lying. So Malachi told Leslie that he had somebody doctor up the photo and send it to her. Fatima said that was an old photo. It was like she remembered when they took the photo and that it was old. I'm like, well, now did we get our lines mixed up in the writing room, or what's happening? Because I guess whatever. So Zach said he was mad. And Zach says he don't blame him. How could any man not want you? Which was very, very, very cute. Okay. And they discuss everything from Jeremiah to his attitude, how he was acting. And then she then tells him, go see Jeremiah. And then she updates Zach on the funeral, and then they realize that the funeral guy ain't nothing but a scam artist. And I was like, girl, what funeral home y'all at? All right. So Fatima tells him one more time, hey, you need to go see your brother. So Zach tells Fatima that he's getting ready to go. And she was like, okay. So he was like, you're not going to ask me where I'm going? She was like, no. And he was like, man, I need to give me some after going through all of this. So he left. He goes to see Tony. And they sit down. And when Tony opened the barbershop door, it's like, clack, clack. I was looking somewhere else and all I heard was clack, clack, clack. And I was like, how many locks he got on his door? He had like three locks on the door. So apparently there's been a string of robberies around there. So I was like, okay, I guess this going to be a focal point at some point, which is probably why I think in this mid or maybe last episode we see people shooting up a place, coming in all black, I guess. I don't know. So Zach tells Tony that Fatima wants him to talk to Jeremiah. And Tony tells Zach that they both were wrong. And they were. And so Tony was like, hey, both of y'all were wrong. And I agree. Jeremiah been wrong from day one. And then Zach was wrong for fighting him. And so Tony was like, well, let me show you something. And he was like, what's up? And he showed him the video. So you see where Zach was really uncomfortable with watching the video. He was like, I don't want to watch this video. And so you have to look at the video. And Tony was like, you blacked out. And he was like, it's like you're two people. It's like you're this a really, really good dude deep down inside. But then you're somebody else. And so Zach was like, well, he should have never touched my wife. And Tony said that he did this he was like, this goes far beyond Fatima. You did this for everyone that has wronged you. And he did. He had all of this frustration, all of this, and all the frustration he had for his brother, his mama, he took it all out on Jeremiah. I told y'all in the beginning, I said none of this was it. Fatima was the straw, but he had been really feeling away and been wanting to, as Scrappy would say, put them paws on, right? It was something that been, I mean, I don't like how he reacted. However, I can't say that Jeremiah didn't deserve it. And I don't condone violence, y'all. Anyway, so Tony then start to talk a lot of sense into him, talks to him about going to see Jeremiah. This is when he tells him, hey, it's like you're two people, you're a good dude, but then there's this other dude that it's no reason, basically it's just no reasoning with him, So then we get to the next scene, and y'all, I wanted to write all of that stuff down that he told Tony, but basically, that Tony told Zach, he was just telling him, hey, you're a good dude, but hey, you have these things that basically you need to work on, and you need to go see your brother. Bottom line, you black out, and you don't see nothing else. Anyway, so in the next scene, Zach actually goes to see Jeremiah. And y'all, Jeremiah, even though his eyes are open, he still look unalive. He looked like George Jefferson from the top. And because we don't never get to see his hair, we now see that he probably need to let it go. But I guess maybe he'll let it go if he get whatever he need. So, Jeremiah tells him, you kicked my blank. And so Zach says, you shouldn't have touched Fatima. Jeremiah then says, I have a problem. Zach was like, so it doesn't make it right, which I agree. You keep using that problem as an excuse for your negative behavior. And sir, you need to get some help. So they both agree. He was like, don't talk to Fatima, don't touch her. He was like, all right, I won't, and they just left that at that. So Jeremiah did tell Zach he wants to get off drugs because basically my mama did. And I think him and his mama, I don't know. I don't know who introduced who to what. I'm hoping if this rehab works, I hope that we can start getting those pouring in and seeing Jeremiah, the whole what caused it, what because he's a part of he's a part of the story. So I hope we're able to see that. Jeremiah seemed remorseful, but I'm gonna be honest. That's for a lot of them. A lot of them do that either when they're, I don't know if they're coming off their high, but a lot of them do that. I think they want to get off, but the illness is so strong and it has such a strong hold over them that they may not know where to start. I can't speak on it because I've never, but I would assume that it's a difficult thing to do. Like, you can have all the help in the world, but it's difficult. And they say if you want help, you have to really, really want it. So, so Jeremiah wants Zach to, he was like, I can't do it without your help. Can you help me? Can you pay for it? And so Jeremiah, he says, yeah, I got you. So then Jeremiah asks Zach, why did he come? Zach said because he wanted to. And I think at first, and he didn't tell him that they told him to come, because of course he didn't want to come. But then I think he really decided because he knew he needed to be there. So he and Jeremiah apologized to one another. And honestly, y'all, without that mama being in a way, unfortunate things did happen with Miss Gladys. But at the same time, I think Jeremiah has realized that Miss Gladys probably was his crutch, because she was on it, he was on it, and they wasn't willing to help each other. But then they came together to try to bully Zach because it was a lot. It was a lot. And I think with that mom being gone, Jeremiah really had time to think in his sober state. Everything makes sense. So Jeremiah wants the details of the funeral, and he tells Zach, he loved them, and he always have. So Zach was like, well, why do you treat me like crap? Jeremiah admits that he's always been jealous of Zach, and Zach was like, what do I have for you to be jealous about? And so he tells Zach, you have money, all the women like him, but, and Jeremiah was like, I'm just a junkie. I'm a junkie. And it's like, yeah, Zach didn't always have money. Zach got that money flipped. That's how you're looking at the now. You didn't look at all the stuff he went through, all the women. It was all for a reason, but most of the time when you see it, you only see what's now, So Zach asks, is that why you mistreated me? And Jeremiah was like, yeah. And so he also asked Zach for forgiveness. So Jeremiah, then we find out that Jeremiah has kids, and his kids doesn't talk to him. And Zach tell him, if you get off the stuff, get the help that you need, that's where you start. You work on you, and once you're good, then you build with them. And so, again, they both express the love that they have for one another. They both were emotional and crying. And then they hug. And that was like, they needed that. And again, sometimes it takes something tragic to happen for people to come together, which I don't like. That, you have to go through all of this just to get to a good place. It's okay, just get to a good place. I wrote in my notes, Tyler, please, can we get Jeremiah off these drugs? I just, let's do something different. Let's do something different. So Zach gets home and he tells Fatima that he went to see Jeremiah, and he, lets her know that everything that happened. She asked him, they were in the bed together. And he came out of the bathroom, got in the bed. He was like, you up? And she didn't say anything. And so he got under the blanket and he hugged her, held her, and he was like, you know, I love you. You're the best thing that's ever happened to me. It was a good scene. So then, as he was getting ready to turn over, she got up, and then that's when they started to have the conversations. So she asked him about the fake picture, and he said, you wrote in integrity. I knew that wasn't you. I knew that was an old picture, you know. And so they get to a good place. They apologize. You know, she asked him about, you know, how are you going to react if Jeremiah does this? And, you know, they talk about Jeremiah wanting to get help and how he felt about it, what he's going to do. You know, and he was like, I can only do what I can. And she was like, that's all you can do. And then they fix it. They fix their stuff. And I want them to be like, hey, we have stuff that we could get past, but I hope it's not a lot like it's been all of these seasons. I'm over it. You know, having their relationship to always be hard. Like something comes in between them often. So, I meant to say, when Zach left the barbershop, Tony was like, I'm going to get an edible. You know, they joked about that. And he was like, you know, your head is shaped like an edible milk dud or whatever. And they laughed and they joked. But I was like, two things. Zach did not apologize. And I wish we would have seen that. Like, they squashed it. But it still should have been an apology. It really should have. And then, don't act like it's dope. Sir, you did not go, you did not lock that door. So, Tony had his back turned, you know, straightening up the stuff on his boot, at his boot. And a robber comes into the barbershop and tells him, you know, hey, you know what it is. Yada, yada, yada. Tony was like, well, you ain't got to do this. And then the dude take his mask off because I'm just like, what are you trying to get out the barbershop? Like equipment? Like you need to pawn this equipment? What is it? Money? What? Like when you are robbing a barbershop, what is it that people are in search for? Maybe the equipment so they can go pawn it and get some quick money. So, he was like, you know, you don't have to do this. And then the camera pans off of him and somebody starts to shooting. And the episode ended there. And I would like to say this. I'm pretty sure, I'm going to tell y'all, it was not Tony who got shot. I think Tony had a gun in front of him and on him. So when the dude came up to him and, you know, with the gun, he pop, 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 and lit him up. I'm telling y'all, that's why it's gonna be some fireworks towards the end of this. You know, they had people coming into I guess the repass and just shooting it up, you know. So I don't know. I'm telling y'all, I'm willing to think that, and we'll revisit that. I'm gonna just tell y'all I told y'all. So anyway, I'll drop the next episode, and then after I drop that, I'll give y'all Sisters, because I did say I was gonna give y'all that, and then I'm going to do Young, Famous, and African. I really like that show. I don't know if y'all been watching this since season 1. I've been watching it. I need to find out what Fine Andale and Homeboy finna get into it over your girl. Like, it's a thing. All right. Anyway, I will check y'all in the next video.